welcome back to the Mr. Arsenal podcast. I'll be back soon. I weren't messing about. Oh, sorry, I'm a few minutes late, but I literally been serving dinner up. I'm still buzzing. I'm trying to get emotions in check. But Andrew, how are you coping after that?
Oh, it's brilliant, mate. Champions. Buzzing. Absolutely buzzing for that result. Fantastic. Really did well.
Love doing this.
Made us all proud.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I mean, I was saying during the stream, and myself, Liam, and Gary earlier, again, winning that tonight has just blown up the women's sport in general, but women's, obviously WSL, women's football domestically. It's just going to be blown out the water now. There's no going back now. This is it. This is like the lift off they've been waiting for.
I hope so. Yeah, it deserves it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, like my son was watching it with me earlier on, and I think he's new to watching it. He hasn't really watched it much, and he's always been the same as an awful lot of people up and down the country, not on his own, thinking, "Oh, it's not." They compare it immediately as they're watching it to the men's game. It's a bit slower. Not as, and I just said, well, you just need to take it as it is. It's not the same as the men's game. It's different. It's different, and yet it is the same in some ways. It's hard to explain, but if you watch it in the way it's supposed to be watched, take the men's game out of it and just sit and enjoy the actual game itself, that's how you sort of come to terms with in really enjoying women's football like I have over the last few years. And it totally deserves to be taken now to the next level. And this group of players just be so proud, of themselves. And I just hope it does go from strength to strength. I really do.
Yeah, people also need to remember another reason why quality and all that isn't the same as the men's. And women were banned from playing football for years, for decades. And the women's game itself, professional-wise, has only gone full professional in the last 10 years because of money and this, that, and the other. But it's still way off the mark. We've been covering, obviously, we covered the WSL from an Arsenal perspective, WSL last season, and we say every week that obviously it's more family oriented. It's more like the old school, what it was, what football in general was before the money came along.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's more family filled atmosphere.
The players are a lot more accessible.
Yeah, it's everything you had before the money, and in terms of WSL as well. They don't get the funding that the men's level do. Still, the last season, I remember opening that game of the last season, Arsenal v Chelsea at the Emirates. They were talking about why isn't there VAR and WSL, and someone that was working at the FA for the WSL said it cost us £3 million. We ain't got the money. It has to, and that's my point. Is it's literally that's how far behind we are because in terms of women's game because of what the ban that was put in place years and years ago, before my time anyway. And there's people in the chat saying no one wants to watch. You say that nearly 90,000 people watched it at the stadium today. Millions around the country have watched it, let alone worldwide. So let's not even go to that one. And let's remember the home tournament. The women have done today something the men couldn't do last year.
Absolutely.
So I'm not going to have anyone disrespect what is a massive achievement, no matter what you think. It's a massive achievement. During this tournament, we played Norway in the second game, a fully fledged professional team, world-class players, and more so in their attack, and we demolished them. We made them look like a bang-average team, like a part-time team.
Absolutely. I just think,
we took on the second best team in the world. We took on the second best team in the world in Sweden, and in a semi-final, and demolished them. So come on, people now need to start showing the respect to the women, and what they've done over the last 3 weeks.
It just, honestly, I'm sorry, Wallacino. Thank you for tuning in, but just get your Stone Age views in the bin, mate, because it's just not wanted, not needed, and it's just that kind of stupid-minded thinking that has put the stop the game from growing so much. It's just really not needed on a day like this, and it's just not needed. Full stop. To be honest with you, so just go and watch something else. To be honest with you, I couldn't care less about your stupid opinions.
Yeah, I've got a question here from someone on Twitch. Sack Jeddah says, "What do you think about women being paid the same as the men?" Based on today,
Well, honestly, to start off with, you've got to take it one step at a time. But for the England team, the England women's team representing their country, I totally agree that they should. Why wouldn't they? They're paying. They're doing exactly the same and more for their country than the England men's team are at the moment. Although the men's team have been doing well lately, getting to finals and semi-finals, the women have obviously just gone and won a tournament, and just shows you that on international football, yeah, absolutely, 100%. For the WSL, it just needs to go in a sort of a steady increase as the game grows over the next few years, and the crowds grow, the sponsorship grows, the TV revenues grow. Then that's how they should start to sort of level out with the men. It's early days for that, but hopefully it'll go in that direction in the future.
and obviously the Arsenal women's manager was part of the punditry today. He made a good point near the end of the program today. The women that have played today, representing England tonight, started off doing part time. They fought against the system to get to where they are now. And it has people like saying on social media, there'll be people out there that are totally against all this, that didn't give up their stadiums for this tournament. They'll be now jumping on it now, like, oh, what a fantastic da, 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 da. When it mattered,
exactly.
They didn't back it.
Exactly, and really good points were made after the show. What you've just mentioned as well, and the fact that they used to have to pay to play football because they loved it so much. They never got paid. They just have to pay their own expenses, get their own way to grounds, and all that sort of stuff. And if they just look what they've achieved from going from part time. The last time they played Germany in the final, I believe it was 2009. They lost 6-2. They were part time players then. All had separate jobs.
Yeah.
They listed all the types of jobs they were doing before, teachers, firefighters, policewomen, and all that sort of stuff. And in that short space of time, from 2009 to now, they've gone and won a major tournament, the first they've ever done. And if they have got the kind of financial backing that the men have got on a level footing, look what they've achieved now with a tiny fraction of what the men's football are getting granted to them every year. Imagine if they had sort of a similar playing field with regards to funding, what they could go and achieve in the future. It's frightening, really, that within the space of 10, 15 years, they've gone from part-time to winning a major tournament. So if they do start getting the funding right, then the game will only go one way and it explode, and you will start seeing full stadiums for the women's game week in, week out, up and down the country.
No, 100%. And right, another one I made a good point was in terms of filling that stadiums, as you say, having an away section for away fans. You can have a proper atmosphere between a bit of a laugh and a banter and all that you do in the FA Cup and all that for women's game. Things like that have got to be integrated in. He said himself he can't be the only person as an back in the WSL going to every game up and down the country week in, week out, trying to get things going along with Alex Scott and all. But as a man himself, a male ex-footballer doing all this and no one listened to him. Alex Scott said the same thing. They both said that with this happening tonight, they are now they don't need to they don't need to go on their knees begging for people to back the sport back at any level now.
No, not at all.
Yeah, you you could sense the tone because you mentioned about 2009. Because Alex Scott was part of that. She went through pretty much her whole career having to hold down 2 jobs, doing what she was doing for her career.
She used to work in the Arsenal shop, didn't she?
Yeah.
For a while. It's unbelievable. I mean,
She's
honestly,
she knows what these girls have had to go through at the start of their careers to get to this point.
Absolutely. And you see someone like, obviously Arsenal massively represented, and to see Leah Williamson lift that trophy and Beth Mead lifting her 2 individual trophies as well in that final just was so heartwarming, wasn't it? It just makes you so bloody proud of them, of what they've achieved. And
Beth
totally
Mead
deserved as well.
the Golden Boots. The individual accolades they've got as well. It's proud. The proudness. We're both free at this moment in time, and none of every other support of the women's game for whatever team they support. It's a proudness. Like literally, to sell out a stadium for a major final for the first time of hosting it as a full-time team. Because the last time we hosted it, again 2005, was part-timers. We didn't get out of the group stage. Fast forward to 2022, a year later than scheduled, obviously. But we fast forward, not only a full-time established side now, we're actually competitive, and we've gone and won it. We've sold out every, not just for our games as well. All the other nations that took part, every game was sold out. It weren't that's the odd 100,000 here or there. There were sellouts, and again, a massive thank you to every single one of the clubs that actually gave their stadiums up for this tournament. Rotherham, Old Trafford for obviously the opening game. Brentford did it. Brighton did it. Southampton, Sheffield United for the semi-final. Wigan as well. They've all given it their stake. They all believe. They all backed this from day one. And again, Alex Scott said this back in 2018. They gave it. They went when asked. Yeah, well, no problem. We've got no problem. Yeah, we'll support the women's game. And she said bigger stadiums, but bigger clubs weren't there when it mattered. They didn't believe in it, but now they will because of this.
Yeah, they've missed the boat, haven't they?
And that's what
exactly.
That's what she said there. The boat's gone now. It ain't coming back. This is this lot.
Exactly. Well,
and what we say about capacities as well. We've seen, as we've been saying about capacities being sold out, and today we need 87,127,000 people in the stadium.
Not only is it a record for women's football, it's a men's football record for the European Championship final as well. Unbelievable.
Yeah. That's this not just today, but the entire tournament. But we'll touch on today. Being it was the main stadium of the country, Wembley. That's shown today. The demand is there for the women's game. No matter how young, kids, teenagers, adults, families, this etc. The demand's there to go to these games, and this now it could blow things out the water next season in terms of obviously the clubs letting the women's teams use their respective stadiums, Old Trafford, A&R'S. We already said during the week, our club Arsenal came out and said North London derbies at the A&R'S this season in terms of our home game in October, September time, whatever that is. And then they've even said, assuming Arsenal win their playoff game, every home game will be played at the A&R'S as well for the Champions League. Yeah.
So it should be as well.
And I think now with this success, that demand is that if you market it right, you can't just go, oh, here it is, it's on sale now. You've got to market it right now. And if you do, you're on a winner because the demand's there. I keep saying it, the demand is in there. It's simple as you've just got to market it right. And Lee made a good point actually, in terms of getting because of where the game is at the moment, getting the young fans in, girls, boys, and all like young boys, young girls, and all into the stadium, 16 and under, for free. You come in for free at the A&R'S. So give them give them that sort of incentive to parents. The parent or guardian comes in for £5 a ticket, you get a free program, free Coke coupon for a drink, free coupon for something to eat as well.
Yeah, I think I agree to start off with, but only like initially, just to get the
That's what
habit,
I'm saying.
get the habit going.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
exactly. Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. Get that ball rolling. Once the things start building over time, you then go, okay, it's got to a point now. £5 for you, and a couple quid extra for your parent or guardian, whatever. But you're adding these. You put the incentive there. The people want to go there, and then when you do want to then put a price at from £3 to £5, they won't complain because they want that feel for it. They've got that love for it.
exactly, and because it's worth paying that as well.
Yeah.
You know, because you don't want to devalue the women's game either. Yes, you want the crowds there, but it's still worth the money to go and watch it. If you know what I mean. So I'd say something along the lines of what they charge for some of the like the Emirates Cup, for example. Great value. Yeah. To start off with. That I don't think that's beyond the realms of possibility to ask for that sort of money to go and watch the initial games, or maybe even a bit more incentivized to start off with. But yeah, can gradually build the prices up to what the levels that they deserve to be. Because like I say, the last thing you want to do is undervalue the women's game as well. That's the main thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You're obviously monitoring the
I'm looking
questions that come in. We've got one from
Melvin. Yeah.
Melvin. Yeah. And thank you very much, Melvin. Should time wasting be penalised by a free kick? It's a tough one, really, but I think first and foremost, we've had this sort of discussion before where I think it should be like rugby and American sports where the clock is stopped in certain cases and the time is added on. So the time wasting is completely and utterly pointless.
Yeah.
But more so than awarding a free kick, because time wasting should be penalised with a yellow card.
Yeah.
But it's not enforced as much as it should be.
Yeah.
I really think that needs to be enforced a lot more. And as soon as you start getting players actually sent off for time wasting because they've got a stupid second yellow or something for doing it, that's when you start getting second thoughts about doing it in the first place. So, because if you think a lot of the time wasting is done by goalkeepers holding onto the ball too long. If you're going to start giving free kicks for it, I mean, you're going to literally be giving free kicks in the penalty area and all sorts. And it just, I mean, that'd be fun. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I don't think refs will do that. I think they're much more likely, and they should be much more likely to give a card for those sorts of events. Personally, I cannot see if it's the last minute of extra injury time or whatever, and the goalkeeper's hanging onto the ball, that they're going to give a free kick in the goal mouth.
No,
I don't know.
Yeah, got a point. I mean, we've seen it for years, and it died off. It stopped for about a bit for a year or so when teams didn't see us as threat. But we've seen it as Arsenal fans coming to the Emirates. With all due respect, the lesser teams come to us. And straight from the first whistle, as soon as they get a goal kick, it's take our time, slow, surely. Because even though there's a rule in place to stop that, the refs don't implement it. They don't come down on them. They come down on us because we're Arsenal. But that's not matter. But they don't come down on us. And if they did, like you say, you do it first time, right? You got your warning. That's the only warning you're getting. You do it once. Next time you're getting booked. If you do it again after that, you're off. And then suddenly, as you say, once that becomes long as that's been enforced consistently from all levels, from all the referees up and down the country, we'll suddenly see the sudden drop off of time wasting and that side of things. In terms of time wasting, like we saw, what was it? For example, in terms of not a non-goal kick, basically, when it's like when it's in open play, basically, you got for a substitution. And like we saw with Wolves last season at the Emirates, what was it? Jimenez basically taking 20 minutes to pitch.
Yeah.
Stop the clock. Just you're going to waste time. Just, the clock's going to stop, so you ain't going to count for nothing. This will be a
Yeah,
big
exactly.
exercise. And if you keep
Yellow,
going,
I mean, keep the yellow cards going. Keep the other cards going at the same time.
yeah,
But also, stopping the clock would, end of the day, render it useless.
yeah, 100%.
So I think
Other
that
than
would
that,
be the way forward.
I think just giving free kicks away, it won't nullify it to the point
No.
where a punishment like a booking and potential sending off and stopping the clock would nullify
Yeah.
it eventually, as long as it was consistently gone throughout. We've got another
Yeah.
question if you can on the chat. A bit like the last week, fantasy fighting. Got another question for you guys. Fantasy fights for you. First off, Shaggy versus Gordon Ramsay. That's an easy one.
Yeah. I take it you mean Shaggy as in Mr. Lubba Lubba and not Shaggy from Scooby Doo, which is in the next question. If it's Shaggy, Mr. Lubba Lubba, then yeah, definitely Gordon Ramsay. You just flatten him. Absolutely flatten him. No chance whatsoever. Unfortunately, Shaggy.
Scooby Doo versus Brian Griffin.
I think if Scooby Doo was starved for a few hours beforehand,
And it's just put on Grant. Come on, can we go out there? Jump off Scooby Snacks.
yeah, exactly.
Scooby Snacks. Jump on. Then I think Scooby might win that.
Yeah, I think Scooby Doo's a big dog, and he's obviously going to have big teeth.
Hmm.
So I don't think Brian Griffin will have much of a chance. And finally, Homer Simpson versus Fred Flintstone. Well, it's an interesting one because Fred Flintstone obviously massive and built like a brick shit house, but Homer Simpson. I think you could hit him and hit him and hit him, and he just nothing would ever happen. He just like he'd be able to take all the shots. It's like
there was an episode, wasn't there, like that?
Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to think what it was. He was being punched.
Moses' coach, and basically he was just standing there taking punch after punch after punch after punch after punch.
Yeah,
until the opponent was just like, it's like, Homer now.
Yeah, exactly. So I think I might have a sneaky bet on Homer for that one, actually.
That's what episode I think. Yeah, just remember that.
Yeah, I know. It's I couldn't remember who it was.
Oh, there's another question by Ray in the group chat that we're in. His thoughts on Martin Odegaard as our new club captain.
Oh, I mean, God, can I give any more thoughts on that? I mean, I've done it to death, really. I think throughout last season, we were saying week after week, weren't we, that I wanted him to be captain then. You know, when Aubameyang eventually left, I wanted him to be captain then. But obviously it got given to Lacazette. I suppose at the time it seemed a half decent idea. He was playing well.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he was always going to leave in the summer. So I couldn't really see the point in him getting the captaincy for the last few months of the season when he's going to leave. I would have just given it to him then because it just made sense. So I'm just really glad that it hasn't been dragged out because, I mean, do you remember under Unai Emery, it went on till October, November about who was going to be captain. I mean, it was the most ridiculous and embarrassing situation I think you can remember for a long time off the pitch. It's humiliating situation.
Yeah, and what was it? Bloody, and Emery didn't even pick the Emery didn't even pick the captain. It was bloody. He had the players picked, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he did what was it? The captain and 4 others basically, like
like a leadership team. Yeah, exactly. It's ridiculous the way that dragged out. So,
whereas I think this
thank
time,
God.
I think this time around, it's come out that Arteta's made it. He's literally it's his choice, no one else's. The players are on board with it.
Yeah.
But from my perspective, it made sense. It did look at one point with obviously after that Tierney was the next one, and then I think when Tierney got injured again last season, and then that was it. I think that sort of quashed it for Tierney because there was an argument at the time that Tierney could have been in with a shout and all that. But I think that injury sort of quashed it. He obviously come out half hour and got himself injured again. The fact that when that happened, Odegaard was then their next successor to the armband, and he just took it like duck to water because obviously he got the experience when he's been the captain of Norway, and Paul Ramsdale's been chatting to David Seaman on his podcast, Seaman's podcast. He was just saying like, not just because he's a quality player, but he leads by example on and off the pitch. He's a natural leader. It makes him being the captain now makes sense.
Exactly.
And for the first time, it's another thing. For the first time, and God knows how long, probably since Vieira, actually, we'll be brutally honest here, that the armband being given to someone. It's actually the choice has made sense. Oh, sorry, it's Gilberto. Sorry, initially he got the armband. That made sense. Since then, it's always been just you to keep someone around for basically your birthday, happy birthday, it's 100th game, you're the captain for the day, and things like that. That's a thing we begged for after Wenger there to make the Arsenal captain's armband meaningful again. It's taken a while, but I think we're finally getting there now.
Definitely. And any kind of break in play, he's always been the person to run over to Arteta to get all the instructions off the side of the pitch. Always.
We saw that yesterday as well. In a friendly, he was doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, he is the eyes and ears of Arteta. And I think that makes a hell of a lot of sense on top of all the other qualities that he's got, the leadership qualities, leading from the front. Never stops running, never complains, always gets stuck in, does the dirty work. But he's also technically probably one of, if not our best player, So it just makes sense in so many ways. He's always been a leader on the pitch. He's not like an absolute baller, like as in screaming and shouting type of captain, but he's always talking, always pointing, always sort of telling people what to do, where to go, even telling them. I've said before, I've even noticed like he always tells the thrower who's got the ball who to throw it to. He's like got everything down to a minute detail on the pitch. So I think it's an absolutely great appointment, and hopefully he will be with us for many more seasons to come.
Hopefully, yeah, definitely. And it'd be interesting to find out who's the vice captain to Martin. Obviously, if he needs a break or whatever during midweek like the Europa League, who could be the captain when he's not playing, basically, he gets days a night off or whatever.
We've got. I mean, that's the great thing. We've got a few options, which we haven't had for years.
Yeah.
We've got Ben White, we've got Saliba, we've got Gabriel, we've obviously still got Tierney when he plays.
Ramsdale as well.
Ramsdale, obviously, yeah, brilliant choice. So yeah, we've got a few options now, which is lovely to see, really. And I mean, my question to you as well. I mean, can you believe what happened like yesterday at the Emirates Cup? I mean, it's unbelievable what I was watching. We played so. I literally couldn't find any fault in the game. I mean, we were just almost perfect. And did you see Jurgen Klopp's comments about the game, about who he sees as his threats this season? And I retweeted it. He said, "Well, Arsenal." He said, "I saw the result against Sevilla. Yes, it was like a pre-season game. However, that sort of thing never happens to Sevilla."
No.
And I know that they've sold, a couple of their strong defenders, but they're still a quality side, with some good players throughout the team, and we just made them look like a second division pub team or something like that. It's just like it was almost a faultless performance, I thought, and
it was just one of the performances. Even, I mean, when have we ever gone pre-season or not? In 20 minutes, we're 4-0 up and coasting. And even when we take our foot off the gas for the rest of the half, we look in control.
Do you know what I've noticed as well? What I really love about the pre-season, that we've been winning both halves. Remember I was talking about that last season.
Was one half.
I know we couldn't win both halves of football, and it was quite a frustration at one point because we would always go maybe 1-0 up for half time or whatever. And just hang on for the second half, and we win, or even during the really good spells and that, we'd still win the game. But it was a little bit. I wish we could have built on that momentum. But 4-0 up at half time, we could have been really you could easily have taken our foot off the gas and just cruised to the rest of the match, but we scored another 2 goals in the second half.
Yeah.
Against Chelsea, we were 2-0 up at half time, and we won the game. We changed the players wholesale half time, but we still won the second half 2-0 as well. And I love that aspect of that we were showing a lot more ruthlessness.
Yeah.
Not only being more clinical, but we're showing a lot more ruthlessness and going for teams when we've got them on the rack.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, although again, yesterday being the last pre-season before Friday comes into play. What I was fearful of at half time was Arteta was going to come out at half time, knock half the team off. I said, no, don't do that. He didn't. He actually waited and gave him an extra 10, 15 minutes on the pitch, and then made a few changes, just a few, like 3 or 4, and then he stopped and he waited until near the end, like the last 5 minutes.
He treated it as a normal game.
Yeah.
Basically, he made substitutes around sort of about 60th minute, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, like you said, couple just... I mean, I think he thought was going to be quite a bit of added time at the end, but there was no added time at all, was there? So, Reece Nelson and...
it was Reece... What was it?
Sambi. Reece Nelson and Sambi came on in the 89th minute. And then literally 10 seconds later, they blew the final whistle, so I felt a bit sorry for them too.
I was at the North Bank lower tier behind the goal, and obviously that whistle goes. I'm seeing Reece Nelson's face. He's thinking,
I know, because that means they've got to do a half-hour warm down on the pitch at the end because they came on the pitch, which I thought, oh god, if I hadn't bothered coming on for 10 seconds, I wouldn't have to do that. But I know, I felt a bit sorry for him. But yeah, I mean, he literally treated it like a normal game, and yeah, I mean, honestly, just a few. Going through a few of the players. I mean, Saliba.
Yeah,
was
for me, he was. Yeah, he is. Well, you've seen him in person now. He's an absolute unit. He's built like a brick house, and he's
he's quick.
Yeah, he's quick as well.
I mean, to see a player at that age. I mean, I genuinely, and I tweeted it out after the game. I said, I'm sitting here watching Saliba, and I genuinely think he could go on to be our Virgil van Dijk. He's that good. But scarily good for a 21-year-old. Yes, it's not a lot to go on yet, but he obviously had a great season last season. He's been getting the accolades, winning individual awards, getting into the French national team when they've got loads of quality at the back, loads of central defenders to choose from. He's been getting in there. So we have got something to go on. I just hope that he continues playing like he did yesterday and against Chelsea in the Premier League, because if he starts off on the same sort of form that he's been showing in those couple of games, then we have got some kind of player on our hands. I'm telling you now. You can just spot it. You can just see who's got his composure in tight spaces as well, with his quick feet for a man of his size. When he just keeps the ball, and he can shuffle it from foot to foot and get out of tight spaces. Yeah. He had 3 players around him once, and it was like a gasp moment for me. I thought, literally lost my breath because he got out of that and easily just laid the ball off. It was unbelievable.
But he made that look so easy as well. He didn't make like hard work of it as well. And another thing I noticed as well, the maturity for his game. Not only does he take responsibility for his own. If he gets caught out of position, he'll get back and still defend. He won't just go, oh well, or half-hearted. He's fully committed to getting back and making up for any mistakes he makes. If a teammate gets caught out, he's there, bang, a corner.
Yeah.
So it is, and again, Arteta must be thinking when he's got a fully fit back line, he's got a headache on his hands.
Well, I honestly can't at the moment.
We're keeping Ben White happy because if Tommy comes back.
Yeah, no, but at the moment, for all Tommy Asu, how amazing he was, he's going to get a struggle to get back straight in the team for me.
I'm not saying. I'm not saying Tommy Asu is going to be straight back in, but
no, I know.
He'll get a chance if he takes it. It's going to then have Ben White because obviously there's no Gabriel's. He's been solid. They've all been solid. Let's be honest. All the players, even Ben White yesterday, he was fantastic yesterday. Let's not get twisted. But Gabriel and Saliba as a partnership isn't going to be dropped now unless one of them drops off at some point or gets in. worst case.
But it's ideal for the way he wants to drop back into a back three during a game as well, because of Zinchenko on one side easily, because he was playing central midfield most of that match as well. I mean, he stuck on the left for a while, but he was dropping into midfield more often than not.
Yeah.
And obviously Ben White, Saliba and Gabriel were just playing as a back three for most of it. And I mean, I know genuinely you struggle to think of a back three that can show that much quality. I mean, for their age as well. Can you imagine in 2 or 3 years' time how great they're going to be together? I mean, that's unbelievable.
If you're a rival, I'm sorry, even Tottenham...
Game over. I wouldn't even bother sending out strikers as one of us in a position. You know, you might as well just play a 5-4-0, you know, because they're going to get no change out of that lot, I'm telling you now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's brilliant.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Lee made a good point earlier that with things like that he plays, we've done well in this transfer window and pre-season as a whole. Our squad depth now not completely sorted, but it's to a point now where we can go to a City or Liverpool, Anfield, and possibly get something from them games, respectively.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not going to be a foregone conclusion that they're going to get the 3 points home and away now from us.
Well, when you consider that during pre-season so far, we haven't seen Tomiyasu, we haven't seen Kieran Tierney, we haven't seen Emil Smith-Rowe, and we haven't seen Fabio Vieira.
Mm-hmm.
That's nearly like an amazing. That's because obviously we've got 5 subs now.
Yeah,
that's like four subs that
just there
are outstanding players that we haven't even seen yet in pre-season. And then when you add like Eddie Nketiah, who looked great when he came on yesterday as well, and players like that, you know, our bench is going to look 10 times stronger than it has done for years already at the moment. Yeah. And when you can think we're going to be probably looking to still bring in 1 or 2 more players, it's very, very exciting moving forward. You know, I'm not getting too carried away, but 100% winning the league next season.
Oh, I've already said we're going unbeaten again. We're done. That's it. Give us a trophy now, thank you.
Exactly, and give Gabriel Jesus the golden boot already, mate. Because I'm telling you now, I was watching him yesterday, and I feel really quite annoyed actually because I can't remember who said it. Actually, I was watching the highlights on the Arsenal website, and Nigel Winterburn said he's like our new Ian Wright, and I was actually saying that during the game yesterday when I was watching him live. I said he plays like Ian Wright. He desperately wants to get in the box at the right time and just poke the ball home. He's not like an outside. He's not going to score loads of goals outside the box. I think he took one shot from outside the area yesterday, and it just went well wide. I thought that's not his game. And I was genuinely said to my sons, we were there with, I said, it's like a new Ian Wright, reborn. And I was a bit annoyed when I got back because I hadn't tweeted it out at the time. And then I heard Nigel Winterburn saying it, and I think, oh, well, people think I'm copying him now. But that's what I was thinking at the time. I think he's just there. He knows when to make the runs. He's desperate to score goals. You know, most of his goals will be from 2, 3, 4, 5 yards out, you know, because he's just a poacher. But the skill and the technical ability he's got to keep the ball as well, absolutely brilliant.
Oh, yeah, it is. And I think against second half, or before any subs were made as well, because my brother was there with me, and once he got the internet to work, and he has 5G, he's like, because as we know, all they've really done over the summer is improve the concourse areas and put the new TV screens in. They haven't really sorted out the other stuff yet, like the internet accessibility and all that. But it's obviously, I'm going to put 5 of them. Jesus to score a brace or more. I think it's 5 or 10 of one of the two. That came in, and then he's literally there like, because it came so early. He's like, right, let me in. I want to put a bet on him. I want to see what the odds are for a hat trick. So eventually he's like, fucking get it on. Got 80 quid back for the first bet. I think he had about 80 quid again for the hat trick.
Wow, nice.
He's literally there like, fuck's sake. Actually, I'm
No,
trying to get some signal somewhere else.
yeah, I'm so excited about Gabriel Jesus. And I genuinely think he's our new Ian Wright. He's the reincarnation of Ian Wright for Arsenal. And when you consider Ian Wright came to Arsenal when he was older than
Yeah,
Jesus,
after Pat, yeah.
so
And
it's
the
it's
irony
very
again,
very
he came at
exciting.
this. Sorry, he came at a certain point in his career, Ian Wright, but he just burst on the scene a couple of years prior to that, hasn't he?
Yeah, yeah, because he started late. So he's come to Arsenal before Ian Wright age wise before he did. So I'm really really excited about that. And I would, especially when you watch the Community Shield yesterday.
Yeah,
I could just, I don't sound stupid, but because when Haaland, he could just go supernova this season and everything he hits goes in. But he's going to give him and Darwin Núñez a massive run for their money for this Golden Boot this season. I can see it now.
yeah,
And he won't be spectacular, like I say, the goals he scores, but they will all be clinical,
yeah,
and that's all you need.
yeah.
We did not have a penalty box presence last season.
No,
At all. And finally, all our creative players. I mean, Martinelli, I can already see, that's the other thing I wanted to touch on actually. I can already see Martinelli and him, Gabriel Jesus, having that little bit of extra special thing between them, like a bit of ESP. I can see that Martinelli's going to relish playing with him. And that could literally be 2/3 of the Brazil World Cup forward line, couldn't it? They're going to be doing everything they can to help each other, like score this season in the lead up to the World Cup. And I really think he's going to benefit from having Gabriel Jesus to play off, and I think he's going to start scoring goals. Now, the little switch will go off inside his head, and once he starts scoring, he won't stop. I don't think Gabriel Martinelli.
no, definitely. That's Melvin in the chat saying as well. Martin needs to chip in and start chipping in as well. And that's what we are saying that.
Yeah, he looks so sharp, Melvin. I don't know what you thought, Melvin, but he looks so sharp, and he's looked so sharp throughout the pre-season as well. And I genuinely think as soon as he gets that, he's going to score one wonder goal. Like when Dennis Bergkamp took a while to score, and I know he's been with us a lot longer than Dennis Bergkamp, but he was going game after game, and he scored an amazing goal against Southampton. And I think if the similar sort of thing happens to Gabriel Martinelli, there will be a little switch that goes off inside him, and he will not stop scoring. He will just start banging them in. I really, really think that Gabriel Jesus is going to play a big part in that. I really do. He looks like a different player to me, Martinelli. He looks like a proper man, well built, strong, powerful, a real amazing athlete. And I can't wait to see him blossom this season because I think he's going to be a very, very special player. And just that one signing has just totally transformed us. Gabriel Jesus. Honestly, we look like a completely different team just by that one player being added.
Yeah. And I think it was Martinelli or who was it that said? Was it Martinelli? It might be Martinelli in an interview said that bringing in Zinchenko and Jesus, two winners basically.
Yeah.
In terms of the team's morale and their attitude, it's benefiting them. They've got the benefit already of it because they've got these players in now that know what it is to win and don't want to go backwards in their career. They want to keep winning. And Melvin popped up and said, "They're stronger all around as well, Martinelli."
Yeah, definitely, Melvin. Definitely.
We just look more again as a team since of course there's Jesus been played, but they played pretty much the entire pre-season with us, hasn't he, since Nuremberg? So we just look again a whole different outfit this time. As a whole, we look a threat going forward every time we attack. We're solid at the back now. We've got Saliba and he's settled and he wants to be here. And with the added of obviously Jesus coming in, Zinchenko. We yet to see Fabio, obviously, but he's now back in training this week apparently, coming to leave.
I think they all are now, aren't they? I think Tierney, Tomiyasu, Smith Rowe, and him, they're all in full training now, which is really, really good. Really good.
And we mentioned it already in terms of the depth we've got now. Even though, yeah, Tierney's back, Tierney and Tommy Asu are now back in training as of tomorrow, we don't have to rush them back. We've got a Ben White or Cedric. We've got Zinchenko who can pop in there, and obviously when off the ball, we can go into midfield and cover there. So there's no need to sort of speed them back into the team and risk any more injuries.
No.
I'll be back in a sec. Can't get him summoned.
Okay, no problem. I'm going to take the opportunity, Mr. Bungle, to go and talk about your question, and then we can get Mark Ryan's idea on it and answer afterwards. But I was talking about this at the park with someone. There's a group of people that we all meet up the park every now and then when we're walking our dogs, and I was talking to this one guy a day or two ago about this very question about the Big Mac versus the Whopper comparison. Now, we didn't actually do the Big Mac versus Whopper. We did McDonald's versus Burger King. And in my opinion, because I think it's a real shame that a lot of the Burger Kings, we had a Burger King in town, in Hinkley, where I live now, and it's closed down. And I'm absolutely devastated because I absolutely love Burger King burgers, the Whopper with cheese. I think it's beautiful. And you cannot beat that taste, really. But there's one thing at McDonald's that I absolutely love, and that's a Big Mac, because I just think all round, the sauce and everything that goes with it, just delicious. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
So that's a tough one when you say Big Mac versus the Whopper. But if you're talking about McDonald's versus Burger King, I think it's Burger King all day for me.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But it's really tough to choose between the Big Mac versus the Whopper. But if you had to really twist my arm, I would go for the Whopper. But I would miss the Big Mac. But yeah, the Whopper I think is a better quality, and it just tastes beautiful.
I say myself. I mean, as I say, Whopper you're getting more in terms of the size of the burger and all that compared to what you get with. But
yeah, and you feel more satisfied after eating it as well. With the
Yeah.
if you eat at McDonald's, I'm hungry again an hour later. But Burger King, you feel like you've had a proper meal.
And again, the advertising for McDonald's is when in terms of their burger, they make them look bigger in the picture and all that.
Yeah,
They come from Nigeria, they do little things. As you say, you're paying an arm and a leg, like five of them. Come on, it's just as it's like. Apart from at a Big Mac, I like the sauce. It gives that burger a bit more moisture to it, basically. We're all kicking off now, are we? We're all going to come over, of course we are. But but as Mr. Bungle says in the chat, you get the proper actual salad in terms of the tomato size, onion, it's all fresh. But that's all tomato for a burger, not little things.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree, Mr. Bungle.
It's more filling, and I would favour Burger King overall.
Yeah, I would as well. Definitely. I do think maybe the McDonald's chips are a little bit better than Burger King chips, but I don't really matter. I don't really have bothered. Because the burgers are just so much more tasty and they're fresh tasting and more substantial, will fill you up better. So yeah, I agree with you, Mr. Bungle. But like I said, it doesn't mean that I don't love a Big Mac as well.
I had a Big Mac yesterday, actually. After nearly 2 hours in the fucking Arsenal Armory store.
Honestly, I nearly got claustrophobia in there. I started panicking, I think, at one stage. It's that I couldn't move.
Well, did you go in there afterwards or before the game?
A tiny bit before, but we just left after a couple of minutes because it was just stupid.
Manic.
The queue was just all the way around. It was outside the shop and all the way around the shop. They had all the signs up. Only 5 minutes from here, 10 minutes from here, whatever like that. It was just from that chance.
No, what was it? Literally, when we got there, we saw the queue and it was like, no, we're going to go in, get ourselves settled and watch the game. And obviously, don't want to miss anything and all that. So what we go afterwards, we come out, where we were obviously in the North Bank, gone all the way around in the inside bit to come out, go down the stairs where the army is, As we're coming down the stairs, the entire street is rammed. The
Mm.
program people, they're still out. They've been told to stay out there and sell more programs, basically.
Yeah.
So we've got 10 little stations there, dotted where they usually are. But in and around all that, the entire area of the road, the actual road itself, pavement, all the way down, roundabout, into the concourse area of of where the shop is, into the shop, was completely rammed.
I know, and that's why I ended up just going back to the car in the end, because I thought this is going to be a nightmare getting out of here, and it was. It took about an hour just to get out the car park and properly on the road home. So yeah, I didn't really stick around afterwards in the end, because I just thought this is just going to be ridiculous, mate.
I was just wondering, pick up a shirt, picked up what is a fucking shirt? Picked it up, fucking queued for 20 years.
I know.
It's like, for God's sake, and when you try to get in there, you can see there's a leak in the ceiling as well. That's fantastic. They're wearing a fucking bucket. But once you're seeing where the tills are, it's like they haven't put enough staff. They're like, you're mad. They're not putting staff. Why is the staff on the other side of the other store? Get him over here.
Yeah, I know. Crazy.
But no, it's fun. Yeah, went off. Got obviously. So well, we waited in long enough. I'll get you something. I'll get you something to eat when they do. Obviously went down to Ottawa Road. Got ourselves something to eat. Got on the train and ate on the way back. But yeah, got myself a Big Mac meal. Didn't have no milkshakes though. Surprise, McDonald's. That's another thing I hate.
Yeah.
McDonald's.
Shock.
Just wait till you get to the till and ask for it. We ain't got milkshakes.
Yeah, I know.
What I got? Yeah, what have you got? Yes, oh, you go, I want this, no ice. Like, what to do? Gave me no ice. No, it gave me ice, and my brother no ice. So the half got it right. Instead of not being ice, but not both drinks.
I know, that's the other annoying thing about McDonald's, is the staff are just dreadful. When you open, like you said, open your burger and it's just all over the place, like lettuce everywhere, and all that. Nightmare.
Yeah. Melvin saying that also getting home from Highbury Islington Station was a nightmare. I don't doubt that at all, mate. Trust me.
Lovely to see you, though, Melvin. I know we've said that before, but it was great to see you. And had breakfast together yesterday, me and the kids and Melvin. So it was lovely. That was great. Have to do it again. Do it again soon.
I would have been down earlier, but obviously, because of strikes, other people had other plans of getting trains in. It's just like, for God's sake. I was on the train when you called me. The train I was on. What? There's no seats. We've got on. We've got them up near the start of the near Hatton Cross, near Heathrow Cross. So, like the second stop in, and then pretty much all the seats are saying, I'm sitting there, near the door bit where they got little cushions. Yeah. And people, I'm there with a drink. I'm getting crammed in, and I was just like, my neck's like that at one point, like 15 minutes, and then as you're calling, it's like that literally people are finally getting up. I'm like, oh, I've got my phone's up. So obviously I answered the phone to you. I was like, oh yeah, I'm here. I won't get there for another 20 odd minutes, but still. Like,
yeah.
And also the fucking drivers are taking their bloody time. We stopped at Earl's Court or the one after that. And we was just there. There was no reason. We weren't told there was a reason why we were stopping. We just stopped in terms of just staying there for 2, 3, 4 minutes longer than we should have done. He's just there. That was just sitting there like, what's going on? Let me get the fucking stadium, you bastards. Because I would have lost my mind if I'd been late.
So we need some new questions, folks. If you want to get any questions in the chat box, that'd be fantastic. Get a few more in before we finish.
Yeah. There's nothing else I looked at, was there? I saw you. What end you was at as well, you lucky bastard, with the penalty. I was at the side. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I never get my phone out and all that during the game ever. But because there was a stoppage and they were complaining about the penalty being given and all that, I thought, right, so ideal, because obviously right in line with it and everything, I would be able to film this one. So yeah, I filmed that one, sent it off, and then put my phone back in the pocket for the rest of the game, because I'm one of these people that don't like seeing all the fans and the crowd standing there. Instead of, you paid all this money to go and watch the game, and you're sitting and watching it on your phone.
every set piece, someone gets their phone out. Cool,
Yeah,
free kick.
exactly. Just in case a goal goes in or whatever, it's just really annoying. So I'm not one of those people, but because it was a stoppage before the penalty, I thought, yeah, I'll do that.
I think the timing for that was spooky, considering what the game was in aid for.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
As we were applauding the minute of pause for Reyes, boom, the penalty was given.
Exactly, but that was a shame for Reyes, really, because I don't think he got the proper attention he deserved at that point. You know, 9 minutes.
At one point, because obviously it started at the 9 minutes, hit 9 minutes, and as we were applauding, the penalty was given. I thought, at one point, I thought the referee or whatever say, I thought they're actually going to wait for the actual 4 minutes of play out, get the actual applause thing out of the way, because that was a planned thing.
Exactly, yeah. That's what I mean. That's why I felt a bit bad, really.
And then the ref just said, no, play on. It's like, hang on. I did like the touch, though, obviously, before the game, actually, while I waited for questions to come in, from both clubs, obviously, to get the Sevilla's shirt and the Arsenal shirt with Reyes on the back and all that beforehand. Reyes' dad was there. He was part of the presentation and all that for the trophy lift as well. I thought there's other bits and pieces they did with him as well, but I thought that was a nice touch having the family then, having him there part of it all.
Mr. Bungles, who just bought the U2 version of Monopoly. It's really hard because the streets have no names.
I'll
have a game with that, Mr. Bungle. With or without you, I'll have a game with it. Quickly, there was also a nice touch at the Armory. I'd put this on Twitter as well, but in case you see, when you go into the Armory, there was a shirt right in front of you with Reyes number 9 on the back, and also one next to that had Maria Petri on the back.
Yeah,
and that was just a lovely touch. I thought, nice bit of class from the club there. So I thought, yeah, it was good to see.
Yeah, it had a famous "Come on, you Gooners" or what it had on the shirt as well, didn't it? Like saying all that.
Yeah,
that's right. Again, I know the game was from in aid of Reyes, but obviously with the news of Terry Neal during the week, I thought it was a nice touch that the club integrated that in as well.
Yeah.
Instead of waiting until Leicester to honour him, do it within the actual days of it happening.
Well, obviously it was busy. It was a real horrible shame, but because they honoured 3 people on the day. They honoured Maria Petri. They honoured him as well, obviously as well, and Reyes, which was the whole point about the day, really.
So I was going to ask as well. I don't know about you, but I found it it's a bit weird for me because obviously when the teams came out and all that, usually you got the announcer going through in goal. We got none of that yesterday. It was like the teams came out, and then
we did.
Not on the big screen though. They did go. Oh,
I know it was.
As when they came out to actually play the game.
No, they didn't when they come out to play the game. We did it before when the team sheets came out. Maybe you weren't in the ground at that point. Yeah. But yeah, they did it all then. But yeah, they didn't do it when the teams walked out onto the pitch. No. Yeah.
And I think with certain situations that went off the day before, so to say, it was good that people weren't paying attention, so to say, to that, and actually just getting behind the team, so we say.
Yeah.
And not having any sort of anarchy. That was when I saw the lineup, that was my main fear that maybe there might be a few discontents, so we say. I'm not going to go into it because obviously, I'm not giving anyone the satisfaction of causing any more aid because it's just like police.
Exactly.
We said it in group chats that why it's said person not letting the police finish off their job.
Yeah,
let the police do this. If they've got all this evidence,
well, nothing can happen now because it's been totally
the person's done themselves over.
I know. I don't wish you stop it there.
Not only has she done herself over, this person, she's done the other person over as well.
We need to stop it there. I don't think we should talk about it.
I'm just saying, literally.
I don't know exactly. I'd love to
why did that person have to do what they did in terms of fair enough. If it'd been investigated and this, fair enough. You want to voice out, then fine. The fact that the stuff is still going on, but no.
No.
And that was what I was going to say. On a train, I saw the line. I think, because it was Reyes' his thing. I had a little fear, but no, the fans were fantastic yesterday.
Yeah, they were. And Mr. Bungle said Arsenal are going to surprise this season. I might put a sneaky tenner on winning the Premier League. I totally agree, Mr. Bungle. And I only wish their odds were better because the odds aren't very great. But
No, Bob was telling me on what I think there was it 16-1. It's coming to since yesterday.
I thought when I looked, it was actually a little bit less. I think I genuinely.
I think it might come even less. Maybe I don't know. It was. It was 33-1 early in the week.
Yeah, no, I know. It's been going up and down, but I just wish it was a bit bigger. But yeah, I might be with you on that, Mr. Bungle. And Stefan said it as well. Got a feeling Arsenal might have a decent season. I honestly think we will. I really do. I think we're going to surprise quite a lot of people this season. And the longer we go under the radar, the better.
I'm just trying to find some of it because there's our Sky, but there we go. Let's try Sky. What's sort of Sky giving us? Sky, I've got us at 33-1 on Sky Bet on their own thing. That's cool. Under the radar and all that. Man City are 4-7. Liverpool are 9-4. Obviously, they're the top two, obviously, for obvious reasons. They've got Tottenham at 14-1. Am I missing something here? They did just lose. They brought all these amazing players in, and they lost to Roma yesterday.
Yeah, I know, hilarious.
And they struggled against Rangers.
They lost against Rangers, didn't they?
Oh, they won, but it was a struggle.
Oh, right. I thought they lost against Rangers.
They were losing. They went 1-0 down, and then Harry Kane saved their backside. Chelsea's 16-1. How's United got better odds, slightly better odds, but still 28-1? Are these bookies not?
Honestly,
Sky themselves not seeing something that we're seeing.
Well, at least Jurgen Klopp himself knows that we're a bit of a threat this season.
Yeah,
you know, at least he knows about football.
I think. And also, what's it say? Jesus, he's got decent odds coming. I think Jesus was at 16-1 to be the top goal scorer. So that's a worth of cheeky 5 or 10.
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
So
yeah, so if we've got no more questions,
time's flew. Probably noticed that was an hour. Oh,
yeah.
Just double checking that. I'm gonna double check that. One sec. Nothing there. I think we're done. Anyone else in the chat quickly? You got literally a minute, so if you want to get your question in quick. Otherwise, we'll start wrapping things up.
Yeah, well, I'm just before we finish on Tuesday. Definitely going to be on Tuesday and doing the season 4 opener on my channel, From Dial Square to Where. If anyone's a free Tuesday night, come and support us, support the channel, and going into the 4th season, we'll do a few predictions and things like that to get the new season up and running. So yeah, please come and join us 7:30 on Tuesday night, please.
Yeah, definitely. And in terms of on here, I'm trying to think. I need to do. I think the plan for me is to do a Premier League prediction show on a Wednesday, do the preview for the Palace game on a Thursday, and then obviously the game on Friday. Talk over that. So yeah, need to sort that. Need to actually sort that out tomorrow. Get all the guests and all that sort of stuff sorted for that. And then Saturday, that's it. Saturday is actually fundraising Saturday in terms of for Tony's leg. I had a chat with Gary a few weeks ago on this while I was on a stream. The plan is basically from 12 o'clock and on a Saturday all the way through to the final whistle of the Everton Chelsea game. Just do one vast fundraising watch along. Basically, got to cover the Liverpool Fulham game. Keep an eye on the 3 o'clock games and all that jazz. Have a bit of a laugh from that. And then do a watch along, doing one stream by the way, for Everton Chelsea, and just hope to try and make some more fun for Tony needs a leg.
Brilliant.
And then come back a few hours later and do a match of the day stream. Yay. But yeah, and he's sorted that out now. Oh God, I'm so disorganised for this season. Oh God, it is what it is. So yeah, so I don't think we'll get any more questions. Mr. Bungle said he's going to be there on Tuesday.
Thank you very much, mate. Great. Look forward to seeing you there.
Yeah, and I think with that, we best wrap things up. Go off and have a little celebrationary drink and all that with England women. Even though some people out there, as we know, have got their Stone Age faults still, sadly, but it is what it is. Not all of us are like that, clearly, because here we are, praising and giving credit to where credit should, and supporting the sport from day dot, basically. The only way you can possibly do it. So yeah, in terms of that, I think I'll go wrap things up now. So yeah, you won't see me and Andrew until Tuesday now.
Lucky you guys.
Yeah, you get a day and a half off, and you got our mugs back for the rest of the week. But yeah, in terms of until then, guys, enjoy the rest of your week, your evening, and all that, morning, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. We'll see you again on Tuesday and throughout the week, obviously. If you're new to the channel, do subscribe, do smash that like button on my channel, and obviously on Andrew's channel. Andrew will be taking over next week on this live stream over on his channel, so go and subscribe for that so you don't miss that. The audio for this will be up in about 30 to 40 minutes once it's downloaded and all that jazz. So keep an eye out for that on Spotify and all the usual audio platforms. And if you do cut to some Spotify, do give us a rating. It does massively help us get more noticed. And we'll see you soon, guys. As always, up the Arsenal. Congratulations to the Lionesses.
Come on, England.